Hello and welcome back to Simply Social Work for a totally different kind of video today. Today I'm going to be reviewing the widely popular phenomena that is Disney's Encanto, which came out not too long ago, last year in 2021. Apart from all of the TikToks, I have not seen this movie. I'm a Disney fanatic, so I'm sure I'm gonna love it, but I haven't watched it yet. But the reason I decided to put a camera in front of my face while I watched it is because a lot of the discussions are coming around a lot of some really good themes involving psychology, wellness, and different things like that. So I thought it'd be really cool to watch it from a therapist social work perspective, psychological perspective, and film a reaction video. So never seen it. I know quite a bit of the words by now, again, from the internet. So without further ado, I'm gonna put these headphones on and let's check it out. Oh, we start with Steamboat Willie, which is super racist, but I don't think they'll ever get rid of it.
We're forced to flee our home.
Aww.
And though many joined us, hoping to find a new home, we could not escape the dangers.
Okay, so we're starting right off the bat. There's refugees that look like they're leaving, and there's kind of oppressive force with violence coming behind, and right off the bat there's now a single mom of small kids. We see that all the time in these situations with really strong women or strong parents. It's not exclusive to women who have to start over fresh, not just with the horrors of leaving your country, but by yourself. And I think, especially right now in the world with what's happening in Ukraine, I think this is something that we're seeing a lot of. So we're starting with the feels. Okay.
Whatever gift awaits will be just as special as you.
So it's interesting, you take the magic aside of it and it's effectively a coming of age ceremony. Most cultures have some kind of coming of age ceremony. This alone, she's wearing the white dress, which in many forms of Christianity, for example, is a baptism or first communion color to signify you coming into a more mature age and further along when she mentions community, right? So that you're able to participate better in your community and are growing. So this one has a magic door, obviously, but this type of tradition, most cultures, I'm not going to say all, but most, if not all, cultures have some form of coming of age ceremony that involves some sort of community acceptance or community participation as witnesses. This is coming out. I don't need this. There's a different microphone. How much easier would it be to get ready if you had a laundry basket do it for you? Okay, got some representation happening. Okay, I already got distracted by the song. So far we already have a different depiction of a very strong muscular female, which I did read somewhere that was a choice that involved some pushback, that they really wanted that representation, and that character is blown up on the internet. So good job. You obviously did what people asked for or would want. There also was an interesting depiction of mental illness right from the get-go. If we back up right there, if you look, there's obviously where he sees the future, but he's disheveled, he's unkempt, he's got the crazy eyes, which is often how we depict mental illness. So I'm curious to see how that develops. Okay. Yeah, I like her. There's obvious shame and avoidance here because they're asking her and she does not want to say. But what's also interesting, even in this song, is there's big family units that all live together. There's a really strong sense of community and legacy, right? They said the children keep the miracle going. That is very culturally accurate. A lot of cultures in the world, they live in multi-family units, and there is a big idea of legacy, of continuing on and of honoring the family name.
No gift. I call it the not special, since you have no gift.
Thanks.
Oh, and Del Antonio, good luck. Last gift ceremony was a bummer. Last one being yours,
rubbing
that
that
did
in.
not work.
Alright guys, where do I drop the wagon?
Maybe your gift is being in denial.
You got a point, kid. Maybe your gift is being a little in denial. So I wouldn't say denial. There's definitely identity concerns here for sure.
The whole town relies on our family, on our gifts. So the best way for some of us to help is to step aside. Let the rest of the family do what they do best.
Okay, so interesting. I hear this talked about in psychological tones, but this is a narrative we hear a lot in ableism, right? That's an ableist narrative, really, that the idea of some people who are different or who don't have certain abilities that are considered desirable or the norm, that they're most useful being out of the way. And we've literally built our society on that idea. So that's really interesting. And even the way she's maybe overcompensating or pushing herself, even in the small ways, right? Carrying a basket that's too heavy for her, is often what we see in people reacting against a society where all they want is to be included and to be considered equal and to have their strengths used or even recognized, right? This is not the case here. This is so far, we're only a couple minutes in, and so far already a really accurate representation of a lot of different issues in society.
Well, in that impossible scenario, you'd stay here in the nursery with me.
Also, even the symbolism of she doesn't even leave the nursery, the idea that she's forever kind of a child.
Miracle. And the greatest honor of our family.
Wait, she doesn't even get to be in the room? See, this is what I'm talking about. She could at least be in the room. And that doesn't mean it's not infectious, right? That's another stereotype. Oftentimes, especially historically, there's that separation, that segregation, because there's the idea or the fear of disability by osmosis or different by osmosis, or even just the reminder, sometimes the reminder of our own human fragility, and it makes people uncomfortable, so they segregate and they isolate, which is, it's just fucked up. She could at least be in the room.
Once more, as another steps into the light to make us proud.
Light and darkness also used words that have moral connotations to them. They're often used as well.
I understand you.
Oh, we just talk to animals. It's a Disney movie.
Of course they can come.
Am I too late for a miracle?
Oftentimes there is a hope still for a cure for that miracle, especially if it's something like chronic illness. And song hits right in the feels, because that is often what it feels like, right? That if there was something that you could do, that wanting to change, but also wanting others to just see how much you have and who you are. But also there is sometimes that fighting against our bodies or our minds and what we actually have.
Cracks in our casita. If our family knew how vulnerable we truly are. Why
She's kind of a
is this
shady
happening?
bitch.
Because you won't tell me what's wrong.
Nothing's wrong!
Wow, sorry, that snuck out there. What I meant was, why would anything be wrong?
This is like that Ross moment. This is like the I'm fine.
Special like a drip, drip, drip that'll never stop. Whoa. Pressure that'll tip, tip, tip till you just go pop.
Whoa, yeah, who am I if I can't carry it all? If I falter.
That right there, that's the caregiver line. Who am I if I can't carry it all? 100%, where all the burdens are just, oh, she can handle it, she can handle it. And eventually there will be a straw that breaks the camel's back. You're doing so good.
Pressure like a drip, drip, drip that'll never stop. Whoa. Pressure that'll tip, tip, tip till you just go pop. Whoa.
Good for the Encanto.
He even has a dark, ominous tower away from everybody else. It's very dark and dingy. That's how I feel in my house. My house is 3 stories. That's how it feels. Oh yeah, this seems safe.
I can do this. Great. Now I'm thundering. And a thunder will lead to a drizzle. And a drizzle will lead to a sprinkle. Clear skies. Clear skies. Clear skies.
And see, that's a little bit of like avoidance and denial, where if you focus on how scary the emotions are that they kind of build, you give them a lot of power. Affirmations can be helpful. That kind of pausing, deep breath, counter the thought is helpful. But if you're suppressing the issue, in this case Bruno, whatever this is, you're not fixing what's causing it, and it just is going to probably prolong the issue, which is probably the whole point of this movie.
Power would grow like the grapes that thrive on the vine.
Oye, Mariano's on his
He
way.
told me that the man of my dreams would be just as the sound in the
Abuela with the umbrella.
He's here. Don't talk about Bruno. Why did I talk about Bruno? Not a word about Bruno. I never should have brought up Bruno.
So it's sort of what I'm seeing is kind of this idea that if we don't talk about it, that it's never going to happen. And if we do talk about it, that it is going to happen, which is not a thing, obviously, right? Just ignoring something, shoving it under the rug doesn't mean that it didn't happen, that it isn't happening, or that it's not happening. So interesting to see where this goes.
The Guzmans and the Madrigals together will be so good for the Encanto.
Yes.
We've got some like historical accuracy with like prominent families building alliances through marriage.
This entire Encanto.
It all goes horribly wrong.
Will you marry?
And cue the ostracism.
I'm a loser.
What did you do?
I'm not doing anything.
That's catastrophizing at its finest right there.
This is my room. The rats told me everything. Don't eat those.
Our family needs help. And you need to get out.
Hiding from your problems does not eliminate the problems. And also here, a really good example of things infinitely become a little bit easier and at least a little less daunting if you share it with somebody else.
Told me the second you saw the vision. Think of the family.
I was thinking of my daughter.
You go, Dad.
Peppa! Sometimes family weirdos just get a bad rap. You can do this.
For the nerves.
I'm gonna be half as cool as that kid.
I can do this.
After I saved Miracle, I'm bringing you home.
Knock, 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 knock on wood.
Still got some denial compulsion rituals there, but that's okay.
I feel like you're upset. And you know what cures being upset? A warm embrace.
See, this is where not genuinely trying to come together and like figure it out and actually have a conversation. This is why this kind of repair doesn't work. Okay, we got my dog running around, we got background noise. That's okay, let's try and finish this. I will say, while I've already got it paused, it's interesting to show the intergenerational changes that are happening, right? As the younger generation tries to bring in changes, there's some pushback to that and some uncertainty to that. And that is culturally and historically very accurate among families, and particularly displaced families. So let's see. Are we gonna talk about where a ginger came from in this mix? So there's war of some kind, or some kind of violent dispute. So this is obviously traumatic, right? So she's become widowed, she's become a refugee, she's become a single mom to 3 half-orphan children all overnight. And it looks like never had the chance to actually process or deal with any of that, just the pressure of not just those children, but like all of those people that there's now like this whole town, right? So she's basically like a town leader here.
And nothing could ever be broken that we can't fix together.
See? That's a lot of weight for one horse.
We see how bright.
Not to take away from the moment, but like a house takes a long time to build and this kit didn't age at all, which is really funny to me. Oh, and of course they all get the powers back. It's a Disney movie. The end. Okay. So that was great. That was great. Couple interesting themes there, obviously. So we have, let's get rid of that. So we had all of the siblings kind of wrapped up, except the little one, just liked animals. We had Bruno as the scapegoat, which is super common in families or people struggling, right? It's really easy to make a scapegoat, whether that be in a community or a family or even in a situation, right? Let's blame someone. There's no blame on myself. We had emotional suppression there, which does not work when she accepts her emotions, which is the message at the end. It's all a lot more kosher. Overall, there were some real great themes on that. One of the biggest is the idea, one, that everyone has some importance, some ability, some strength, some significance. Shunning them does not help the general collective. Everyone suffered in silence there. The perfectionist looked like she had a perfect life and she really was miserable. Louisa physically was very strong and carried the brunt of all that strength and was supposed to be unshakable, and that pressure overwhelmed her, and everyone was kind of living in their own misery, in silence, suffering alone. It was only when they all had some acceptance, they all had some hard conversations, that they all came together and were able to rebuild the house. And the whole community was stronger as a result. So, some pretty solid messages in there. There was actually a lot of good accuracy. I think the only problem, magic aside, is that, you know, it's not one conversation and a hug, right? There's a lot of effort there, which I think the symbolism at the end of everyone rebuilding the house, trust me, from living in a construction site of a house, that takes a lot of time. It's not a linear, easy process, so I think they maybe tried to put some symbolism in there. Healing takes a lot of work and a lot of ongoing commitment. This is symbolic, but moving forward, the way that they interact with each other and engage with each other would have to change. So I really hope you enjoyed that reaction to Encanto. I knew that I would love it, and I absolutely did. I think there are so many good messages in here. Like I said before, similar to Frozen, I think there's a lot of good messages here about community, about mental health, about identity, about family. I would also love to hear your input. What did I miss? What are some of the maybe cultural messages in here that I didn't quite pick up? Or what are your thoughts, your interpretations? So let me know in the comments what you thought. Let me know what movie, TV show, book you want me to react to, review, or discuss down below next. And be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss more of these videos as I introduce more of them to my channel. And it's March, so when this video goes up, it'll be March. So very happy Social Work Month. You'll see a lot of content about that. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.